Well, today I have a really amazing guest. Her name is Mira Alicki, and she has her dog with her too. I didn't find out your dog's name, Mira.
It's Rocco.
Rocco, I love that. So Mira is here with her dog Rocco, and Mira has just this most amazing project going. And I have all kinds of visuals here on the table. They're pierogies for paws, and it's 100% profit goes to charity, and it's to help veterans. Our veterans go to service for us, and lots of times they just don't get the support that they need. So please help me welcome Mira to the show today. Mira. So here we are, Mira. How does it feel to be selling pierogies and doing this professionally?
Well, thank you for having us. So just to rephrase what you said, so I am the president of Forever My Heart Foundation, and we train service dogs to assist disabled veterans with PTSD and mobility disabilities. And since the pandemic hit, we had to come up with a clever way to raise money. It cost us about $25,000 to train and donate one dog. And we raise and have the dog in our care for 2 years, so it's a huge expense. So we started actually a for-profit business that the nonprofit owns 100%, and all the profits goes back to the service dog training program. We are selling pierogies.
Pierogies, and I brought some examples. These do not have pierogies in them, they're empty boxes, but it's just the visual that I think is so supportive. Can we see that there? Okay, so you can just see that this is one of them, and this is one of your top sellers, is what I heard.
Yeah, so this is the vegan sauerkraut and mushrooms. So all the pierogies are homemade. We have volunteers that actually come in on a weekly basis and make them. And we have several ways of selling them. We sell them retail. If someone likes to order them, they can go online to pierogiesforpaws.com.
Pierogiesforpaws.com. So just what's written up on the screen right now under your name, .com.
Okay. We also sell them wholesales to restaurants or small grocery stores. And then we do fundraisers with other nonprofit organizations or hospitals. And it's really easy the way we organize it. So if someone wants to do a fundraiser with us, we'll share profits with them so they can make $5 from each box of pierogies that they sell. We'll create a specific code for each fundraiser. They can get a QR code like this, and their customers can just scan it, go to our website, put the code that we'll provide for each organization, so we know where the orders are coming from and which fundraiser they're affiliated with, and they can just order online, and we'll schedule a delivery day, and someone from the organization will come pick them up and distribute them. So it's a really easy way to do a fundraiser. I mean, if you want to get an order sheet to do by paper, you can, but I think that everyone by now has access to the internet, and they can literally scan the code, go order, pay for it, and then get it delivered from whoever is organizing the foundation for the organization. So this way we can raise money for our program and also support other nonprofits in the community.
That's lovely. And your kitchen is in Middletown,
Yes.
Is that correct? That's where you're currently,
Yes.
But you're shipping all over or delivering all over? How is that working?
Yes, so we're not shipping currently because the shipping costs, the pierogies are frozen, so we have to do overnight shipping in ice, and the cost of shipping is, very, very expensive.
Yes.
So we're not really shipping it. So for us to do a larger orders, or we have to kind of either us deliver it or someone has to come in and pick it up from our facility.
Okay. But it's very easy, and just if you go on that code, then you can get it, or go to the internet or go to pierogiesforpaws.com. So it's easy, and you do check or credit card. Have you thought about doing Venmo? Would that be another avenue that you could do down the road?
Yeah, we could. We process all of our credit card payments through PayPal, so they can pay with any credit card that someone has, or they can pay by PayPal. The Venmo is probably a good idea, down the road to also offer to people. And we have right now 5 different types of pierogies. So we have the traditional potato and cheese. We have smoked cheese.
You want to hold this in front of you? We saw that.
So we have 3 vegan kinds. So this is for our vegan friends. We have a vegan sauerkraut and mushrooms. Our dough is 100% vegan. There's no dairy, no eggs. We have a vegan tofu and potatoes, which this is kind of vegan version of the traditional potato and cheese. We have the buckwheat with chickpeas and onions. So we call this a vegan meat because if you wouldn't know, it kind of tastes a little bit like meat. And
then you get your protein in that too, right?
Absolutely.
With the buckwheat.
Yeah, and then we have a spinach and smoked cheese, which is one of our best sellers, and then the traditional potato and cheese. If someone would order 10 dozens or more, we can customize the filling. So yeah, like we
10,000?
No, 10 dozens. 10 dozens.
10 dozen. I'm
10
sorry.
dozens.
Okay.
So like we do occasionally for events, sweet potatoes and dates. We do blueberries.
So they can be sweet too.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
not just like
actually our sweet, when we sell them at like festivals and stuff, sometimes we'll have, during the summer, we'll have sweet ones. So we made like chocolate dough with Nutella and bananas. We did blueberries. Blueberry is a huge seller. Fall is our, yeah, well, no, we don't do actually pumpkin, but we could. We do sweet potatoes and dates, and then we do butternut squash, which is really also a, big seller.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, so if someone wanted a special stuffing, we're more than willing to make it, and with 10 dozen minimum order.
10 dozen minimum
Yeah,
order.
so if someone is doing fundraiser, and they get 10 dozens, they can put additional stuffings and we'll, accommodate.
Well, I think I have some other nonprofits that I think I can hook you up with, that I think that this would be great for the veterans as well, because you still get money and it still goes back to the dogs.
Absolutely.
Nice, nice.
Absolutely.
And you said it's $25,000 to train and donate a dog, because and who they're housed, like you have a dog. Is this one that's in training currently?
So this is actually our facility dog. So we start training him, and he failed the training because of slight environmental issue that he has. And we kind of kept him because he is a great dog that we can take to events and things like that. He didn't pass as a service dog, but we kind of kept him as our facility dog. So if we go somewhere, like I came today, and we don't have to pick up a dog from a foster family, or like we have a program in the women's prison, we have a couple of facility dogs that kind of went through the training, failed, but they still stay with one of our board members or volunteers.
Nice, nice. How many volunteers do you have that do all this cooking in the kitchen?
So, with the volunteers in the kitchen, it's kind of tough because we really have to train them, to do it correctly. We have about 10 people that kind of rotate and make the pierogies, but if someone is willing to learn and volunteer, we're more than happy to train them, and they can, come on board to help.
Nice, but that would mean a trip to Middletown.
They will mean a trip to Middletown.
And is it Saturdays or Sundays that you typically
We're
do
very
this?
flexible. We usually do it on the weekends, or we do it in the evenings.
Okay.
So if someone wants to even devote one day a month, and come and learn to do it, we're always looking for volunteers. And
I think it would be a fun project.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking. Not right at this moment, but we're looking to move to a little bit bigger kitchen. Because
you mentioned that the other day when you and I were talking.
Yeah, because the facility we have, it's donated to us, which we are grateful to.
Of course.
But it's kind of tight space. So I think that maybe next year we're kind of looking and see if we can maybe get it donated or rent at a low cost kitchen to expand the production.
And it needs to be a special kind of kitchen, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, we have to have a commercial kitchen that's basically approved by the town, and any regular health business, we are under the same rules. So we have to follow the guidelines. So
you couldn't just go into the VFW or the American Legion kitchens that they have or could you, or don't?
So, I mean, we prefer to have our own kitchen just because of storage and freezers,
Sure.
you know, and things like that. And one of our problems where we are right now, we don't have enough freezing space. So, and there's no way we can put commercial freezers there because there's just no room. So I know that it's not just usage of the kitchen, but also we have to have our own freezing space because, like I said, the pierogies are made and they're frozen, so we need storage. You know, and if we meet and make a large quantity, you know, there's a lot of boxes to be frozen.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely. Well, it's very complicated, and it's a new program that you've been working on, right? It hasn't been in existence all that long.
So what we did actually when we started the foundation, we tried to kind of be a little bit different than other nonprofits to raise money, and because we have few Polish people on our board of directors and volunteers, we started doing pierogi cooking classes.
Nice.
So we will sell tickets, people will come, they will make the pierogies, you know, we'll serve them. And actually that was very, very, very successful to us. And
I want to do that.
Yeah, so we were actually making a lot of money. No, because the pierogi cooking classes were not really in line with our mission of the foundation and training dogs. Our accountant, you know, actually talked to us about, you know, registering this as a business that's owned by the foundation. So we were going to do this anyway because of the amount of money that we were raising through those cooking classes. And then the pandemic hit, and we said, like, you know, we need to kind of figure out a more clever way to raise the money because we won't be able to survive, you know. I mean, we are not one of those organizations that, you know what, we're going to take a 6 months pause and then try to reboost because we have dogs that we need to feed, provide vet care, and it's expensive. So, I mean, we need operating expenses, you know, money on a daily basis.
Of course.
We can't tell the dog, you know what, we're going on a diet for 2 weeks because we don't have money to buy food. You know, especially that, you know, I mean, we can't even get food donations because we're raising working dogs. So we have to make sure that they eat quality of food. And because of the training, they get tons of treats. I mean, our dog, before he graduates the program, goes through 1,200 hours of training.
That's a lot of training.
That's a lot of training. So, you know,
it's like a college degree.
Pretty much. So, I mean, how do we get them to do things they do? I mean, obviously rewards and food. So, you know, for treats, we use dehydrated meat. So they get protein and they don't get the fillers, you know. So it's healthy for them and they don't gain weight. So our food bill and treat bill is very high, if you can imagine.
Sure, no,
especially
I can imagine.
now, I mean, our dehydrated treats are almost tripled in price lately. So,
well, shipping is a concern right now too, and just getting products. So
we have a wholesale account with a dog food distributor.
Nice.
So they deliver to us. But like I said, the prices are an issue right now. So, you know, we say we have to basically grow another business so to offset the operating expenses of this business.
Of course,
you know?
Of course. And you said you have 3 different types of dogs.
So, yeah, we like to stay within the Labradors, Shepherds, and Golden Retrievers breeds. You know, these are breeds that work the best for service dogs because of their genetical predisposition and temperament. So these are kind of the 3 breeds that not only us, but I think most of the service dog training organizations stay in.
Okay, and how does it go if you're a veteran and if you want a dog, if you need a dog, like if you do have PTSD or traumatic brain injury or there was another category you said?
Yeah, so pretty much any, mental disability will consider or mobility, disability.
Okay.
We'll take applicants. So, our program is a little bit different than maybe some of the other programs because we keep our veterans involved in our program for a longer period of time. Like, a lot of the service dogs organizations, they will take applicants, the applicants come, they stay there for 2-3 weeks, get training and move on with the dog, which works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But I feel doing what we're doing that sometimes we can offer a little bit more help than just giving them a service dog. The dogs help them tremendously. They lower the anxiety. They're able to go in public. They, wake them up from the nightmares so they can sleep through the night. For the PTSD and then mobility, obviously they help them, get around and, from retrieving objects, opening doors to carrying groceries and doing things like that.
It's just remarkable. Isn't it? It's just so remarkable, the work that you're doing and the work that the dogs can actually do and what they can provide for people.
I feel that the veterans that we place the dogs with, if they still stay within our program for extended period of time, maybe like a year, and even come to Saturday classes once a week, that truly is like therapy class for them, and it helps them not only to make connections, become more social.
The veteran with other people, because the other people have dogs, and
absolutely,
then they become connected and have friends.
During the time that we're with us, if there is any needs for the veterans, we're trying to make connections with other organizations.
Sure.
That they may help them on a different level than us,
Well, it integrates them more into the community, because otherwise they would stay insulated and isolated from other groups. And connection is what it's all about, don't you think, at the end of the day?
Yeah, so now we're kind of starting to recruit different people to be part of our organization. So we just actually recruited a gentleman that works for the labor department and try to find jobs for veterans, for veteran division. So I think that he's going to be a huge asset to us, because, if veterans get to the point that they may be able to go back to work part-time, he is a great asset to try to, set them up with programs that can get them back to the workforce.
Perfect.
I think that.
And is this done through the coffee house in Middletown, or that you have some of these connections where you get established?
So actually, we have connections through different sources, but this gentleman we met through the VA in Rocky Hill.
Okay.
And actually, we talked to him about outreach and getting applicants for the dogs. But
Perfect.
I think that, we can help. I think that, if organizations come together, it's one person at a time, but we can really working together and providing services for them. We can get them to a more normal life, not only in society, but in a workforce, and better family lives for them.
Well, but more productive.
More
I
productive.
don't think anybody is happy if they're not getting up and getting out and meeting with people and doing different things.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think that the dogs and the support we provide for them makes a huge difference in their daily lives.
Do you have any stories that you can tell me related to that, like something that has happened or some feedback that you've gotten?
Well, we have a lot of stories, but every veteran we give a dog to, it's a huge story. So, one of our veterans, I think he has a dog from us now for over 2 years, but he was a remarkable story. He's a Vietnam vet. He was kind of in a busy life, schedule life, working, being in the military, and he was kind of hiding and dealing with his PTSD through basically being a workaholic. And then he retired, and his world crushed.
He didn't have anything. He didn't have a reason to get up out of bed.
Well, and then really his mind really went with anxiety so bad that he was maxed out on all of the medications that they could offer him. And when he applied and we went and did a house visit, I was not the one doing the house visit. His wife and daughter says that if we don't help him, he's just waiting, sitting in a living room to die, because he haven't left the house for 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. The only time he left the house was for doctor's visits.
Myra, that gives me goosebumps just hearing that.
So we accepted him into our program, and I don't remember when he got the dog from us exactly, but it was in the spring, like maybe April. He started coming to training, and we pair him up with a dog. He got a German Shepherd because his big thing is being in public. He was basically petrified, so he really needed a dog.
They have a little bit of a bark.
Well, no, our dogs don't bark.
They don't bark.
They don't bark. That's a fail as a service dog. but I mean, a German Shepherd, it's always gives him like a sense of protection.
Sure. We had a German Shepherd Collie when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
it was such a good dog.
So, and people are not so easy to approach a veteran with a German Shepherd than a lab that wags his tail. Everybody wants to pet a lab. So, I mean, for him, because the level of his anxiety going to the public, was so high, we felt that a shepherd, just because of the stature of the breed, not because of his dog, because his dog will jump on your lap and lick your face, but
Yeah.
because of the stature of the breed, will give him a little bit more confidence and protection in public. So we pair him with a dog in a spring, and like I said,
4 years hadn't been out.
Hasn't been out. We had our gala, I think it was the end of September, with 430 people attending, and Roy came to the event, stood and spoke to 430 people.
So from the 4 years not getting out, springtime, came to the gala. When was that?
September, the end of September.
So
pretty
within
much
within
7 months.
6 months.
Yep.
That's remarkable.
I mean, he was so bad that he wouldn't meet you for coffee in Dunkin' Donuts and just talk to you because, his, anxiety and stress he wouldn't be able to even concentrate on having the coffee. He was so bad.
I get it.
And, so that was a remarkable story.
That is just unbelievable, really, but I believe you.
Yeah. And I mean, we have, we have a veteran that she was really, really bad. She had a brain tumor, PTSD, sexual abuse. I mean, really, tragic situation. And she basically wasn't getting up from bed to noon, never got dressed, cried 70% of the time when you talk to her, regardless of the subject. And we placed her with a dog, and her PTSD doctor says like, oh my God, you made like a 360 transformation.
Really?
So I mean, within a year, she was driving her car and got released to go back to teaching.
Nice.
So
You're a miracle worker.
Well, it's not really me. It's it's a lot of people that put a lot of work into training these dogs, and all really is the dogs, that there are miracles.
Well, you're behind the scene. You're like Wizard of Oz. You're doing it, but
I mean, the dogs have an unbelievable ability to sense people's emotions, and it's basically like we say, the leash, it's like extension of you. The dogs really senses what's going on and understands that no person could ever understand.
So you constantly have, like I see the leash down here, and you have the leash under your foot.
No, I'm just stepping on it because it's long, but if you lay here with no leash.
But Coco, you said?
Rocco
really senses everything that you do. I can see that, even though...
Oh, they do, because, I mean, that's what they, the dogs are trained to be with one person, and we make sure of that, and especially when we place the dogs with veterans that have children in the family, because, the dog will bond with the kids the fastest because they kind of on the same level, So we have to make sure that the dog has a clear understanding who is he there for and who is he supposed to help.
So that's tricky.
It takes some work, and structure, but I mean, they quickly kind of get it, So
in that situation, does the whole family at some point go for some of the training that you said that you do
yes,
with
we
the
recommend
veterans?
for the family to come, but mostly when we start, matching the dog with a veteran and they are allowed to take the dog for the weekend, we make sure that the dog stays with that veteran 24/7. So I mean, the veteran goes to the bathroom, the dog goes there, if he takes a shower, the dog is next to the shower. No one in the family is allowed to feed the dog,
Except the veteran.
Except the veteran. So the dog gets a clear message who is he there for, And it doesn't take a long time for the dog to really figure out, so I mean, like recently we have a veteran that, the dogs are taught to wake them up from nightmares. but she actually had some heart palpitations. She went through COVID, and I don't know if it's COVID related, probably because she's kind of getting better with this. So occasionally she will get a heart palpitations, and she says to me, she says like, you know what's weird happening? I said like, what? She says like, Leo will wake me up in the middle of the night. And I said like, from nightmares? She says like, no, I'm not having nightmares. She says, but I notice that every time I get a heart palpitation, he will wake me up. So he senses.
Amazing. It's just amazing.
So he really, you know, they have a sixth sense that humans can understand, you know.
Right, right. And I know John Casey the other night at the coffee house was saying that the dog had sensed that there was some kind of a different odor that was being emitted, I don't know, through someone's breathing or something, and the dog was able to save that person's life as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, is this your family recipe? Like how, like what's the secret behind, what's your secret sauce?
So, because, you know, a lot of our volunteers and board members are Polish, you know, I mean, we all, obviously, pierogies are, at least for holidays, they're not our traditional daily meal, but for holidays and, you know, occasions, you know, it is our tradition in Poland. So everybody has a little bit different recipes, but when we started doing the pierogies, we kind of got together, made different recipes, try it, and you know, and kind of adopted the one that was really, you know, the best for everyone's taste. So. You know, you didn't probably try them, but
no,
try
I can't,
them.
but I did.
We have a really, really great feedback on those pierogies. They truly 100%, you know, homemade.
So I talked to Brian about it last night, and I said, Brian, can you describe it? And he said, it's just so satisfying and kind of a comfort food at your fingertips, is what he said. Nice tang of a vegetable with some just warm spices, not spicy, but like warm in your mouth kind of thing, is how he described it. So, and he said you can bake them, fry them, boil them, or microwave them.
So when you get them, you really gotta boil them because they are frozen.
Okay.
So, you know, what we recommend is like put them in a pot of boiling water for, you know, 4 or 5 minutes and take them out, and you can eat them boiled, you know, with whatever toppings, depends on the filling. Or, you know, you can sauteate some onions and fry them up, you know, or onions, or, I mean, I wouldn't put onions on all of them, but like, you know, the potato and cheese, you know,
might
onions,
be good.
Yeah, good. Or, you know, even like the spinach with onions, it's, you know, it's good. You know, the sweet ones we usually will, you know, melt some butter and put some maybe cinnamon and brown sugar as a topping. For the blueberry, we use sour cream and berries as a topping.
Very nice.
But you can create your own, you know.
Did you grow up making pierogies?
So I grew up, my mother making them at home, you know, and occasionally I'll help, but I was never really, you know, since my mom is still alive, she was always the one that made them. You know, until we start doing the pierogi teaching classes, then I kind of, you know, got involved. And
so you're making up for lost time.
So I'm making up for the lost times, big time. So,
wow.
But I mean, it's a, you know, it's even to get together and make them, it's a fun group activity.
Oh, I think I want to schedule to do that. Well, we just have a minute left. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to share or for people to know, other than please order, please buy?
Order, and if anybody wants to host a pierogi making class, you know, as a fundraiser for us, we always open, you know, I mean, you know, either get a group of people or sell tickets through your organization or even school or hospital. We did a huge fundraiser last Christmas with Middlesex Hospital.
Nice.
You know, and we'd be happy to come in, bring all the supplies and do a cooking class.
So you can do it in somebody's kitchen?
We will do it if they have like maybe 10 people minimum, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
sounds like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Because, well, I know we have really a nice kitchen at our high school, and then we have a couple of nice kitchens at our VFWs. So that would be a fun thing to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like I say, you know, you can find out more about the foundation on foreverinmyheartfoundation.org, or go to our Facebook page and follow us. And then for the pierogies, is pierogiesforpaws.com.
Thank you so much for being my guest today. It's just lovely hearing more, learning more, and getting to meet Rocco too. So what? Thank you.